अच्छा. Good afternoon, students. Can you hear me? Please raise your hand if you can hear me. Please raise your hand if you can hear me. Okay, that's great. Okay, so welcome to Avanti Learning Center. Okay, yes. Okay, welcome to Avanti Learning Center. So this is our first class and you all are in the 10th class. So we will start with our class with the introduction of Avanti and obviously introduction of me also. So let me tell you, my name is Ankit Khandelwal and I have done BTech in Mechanical Engineering and I am teaching mathematics from the past 5 years, right? And my hobbies are like listening to music, watching movies and traveling to some places. And since you all are from Meghalaya and I have never been to the northeast in India, so it would be great if you can tell me some of the places like which are the tourist places which are there. So if I got a chance to visit there, so I should visit those places. So can you tell me some of the places, like what are the places there or where I can visit? You can write it. Please tell your coordinator that these are the places where I should visit. Kaziranga. Is this Kaziranga Wildlife Sanctuary for rhino? Is it? Bhalpakram. Am I pronouncing it right? Bhalpakram? Okay, okay. Kaziranga is for rhino, I guess, right? Okay, okay. Definitely I'll visit there. If I got a chance to visit Northeast, the Meghalaya, I'll definitely visit there. Thanks. Okay. So first of all, let's start with the introduction of the Avanti. What is Avanti Learning Center and why we are here and why you are there. So first thing is that what is the most important part of this classroom? Like you can see around your classroom, you can see many things, the tables, the chairs, the whiteboard, you can see me and all the infrastructure you can see. But can you tell me like what is the most important part of this classroom? Discuss with your friends and tell me which is the most important part. You can write it. Just let me know the important part of your classroom. Have you discussed? Like there are so many things around you in this classroom, but what is the most important part? You can tell the coordinator like what is your discussion about the most important part of your classroom. Okay, you are here to learn. That's great. Any other thing? Yes, yes. Oh, any other thing? So which is the most important part? Yes, interaction between student and teacher. And in this statement itself, the most important part of this classroom, I would suggest, that is you, the students. Because if we remove the students from the class, then there will be no class. The most important part of this entire classroom is you, the students itself. Now, main thing is that what is does it take to succeed in any exam? Since you are in 10th grade and you are going to appear in the board examination, so what is the key point we will discuss, like what is the most important thing which will take to succeed in your examinations, whatever examinations you are going to give? Like let's say the first point is the hard work, but more importantly that is the smart work. So how many of you know the difference between smart work and the hard work? Raise your hands. The difference between smart work and the hard work. Only one student knows the difference. Okay, let me tell you the difference between this. Let's say in the 9th class there was a chapter polynomial, right? And let's say there are 5 exercises in that one and around 100 types of questions were there. So in the first case you are doing all the questions and you have done all the question 10 times each, right? So you are doing very hard work. But if you don't know like what type of questions are going to be there in an exam, and some other student knows that these are the 5 types of questions which are definitely going to be there in the exam, and is studying those 5 questions along with the other questions as well, so he will really get good marks because he is doing the smart work, he is doing the work according to the requirement. But if you are doing the hard work, then you will end up with wasting your time more instead of learning things. So always try to do the hard work and smart work also, because smart work pays you well, right? And the second important thing is the conceptual building. As you all of know that the main part in mathematics is the concept. Like you are following some book NCERT and there are limited set of questions, right? But if your concepts are very clear, then it doesn't matter from which book the question is coming. You can solve each and every question if you know the basic concepts. Then you don't require any particular book. You can solve questions from each and every book. So in this entire season, in this entire classroom, we will focus on concept building rather than solving the same type of questions, right? And third point is that to succeed in any exam, the third point you can see, studying with your friends. Might be like maybe the possibility like some of you want to study in groups, some of you want to study alone, so that's a different thing. It varies from student to student. And the last thing is the time management. Now most of you have faced that problem, that suppose if it is a 3-hour test and let's say 20 questions are there. So sometimes what happens that you know all the questions, you know how to solve each and every question, but due to the limited time you are not able to complete the paper. How many of you face this problem in the exams? Raise your hand. Like due to the limited time you are not able to complete the exam, but you know all the questions. After completing, after giving the exam, you are saying, oh, I know this question, I know that question, but due to the lack of time I was not able to complete it. So only 2 students face this problem. Rest of the students have done the entire paper in the given time frame. Or all of you have faced the same problem? Raise your hands again if you have faced the same problem, like not completing the question paper in the given time frame. Okay, and you know what is the main thing why you are not able, if we talk about, since I am a mathematics faculty, and if I ask you like what is the reason behind this one, discuss with your friend and let me know the reason why you are not able to complete the paper. What was the main thing due to which you are not able to solve the question, although you know how to solve the question? What was the main thing lacking? Can you tell me that point? Although you know the question, you know how to solve it, but still you are not able to. Writing speed is slow. That's the one point. Second point. So all of you have faced the same problem, writing, wasting more time on the questions we don't know. Yeah, that's the main point. Sometimes we end up wasting more time, like suppose if it is a mathematics problem, you don't know how to solve it, but you have started to solve that question, and after completing 2 pages, you know that you will end up like, we are not getting this one, what to do? Then the time goes waste, and the more important thing, the time which has been wasted. And what I think the most important thing is the calculation. Like in most of the questions, what you know that you will know that I have to proceed like this, and sometimes you already know the answers also, but in doing the basic calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, we consume a lot of time, right? So today in this class also we will focus, rather than focusing on the chapter, new chapter, we will focus on some mathematics short tricks also, like the multiplication, the squaring. So these are the short tricks which we will learn. So it will help you increasing your speed. Like suppose if I give you like what is 19 into 23. Now most of you will use pen and paper for that one, to multiply 2-digit number 19 into 23. But I will tell you the tricks. With the use of those tricks, you won't need any pen and paper. You can solve those questions in your mind, on your tips. So just imagine if you can solve this 2-digit multiplication, square of a number. Let's say if I ask you what is 95 square, then to find the 95 square, might be some of you know how to quickly find it, and might be some of you don't know how to find the 95 square. So you will end up with writing on the paper and doing the multiplication, the normal multiplication we already know, and it will consume your, let's say, 30 seconds. And in exam 30 seconds are very important. If you are consuming 30 seconds on just calculating 95 square, then think how much time you will take in completing the entire question paper. So these are the small things which consumes a lot of time, and if you can overcome these problems, then the paper, let's say if you are completing the paper, if you are completing 20 questions in, let's say, 2.5 hours, then those same 20 questions you can complete in 2 hours or less than 2 hours, depending on the practice, on how quickly you can calculate the things like multiplication, addition, subtraction and division. So today we will also learn those things also. Okay, next thing is that, like in this entire session, how we have divided the course, like how Avanti manages your preparation. Like out of total 100%, as you can see on the board also, like 40% will be of the board level, which is the NCERT, and in this one we will cover all the NCERT topics and all the questions which have come in the previous board papers also. Second 20% will be the hands-on learning. Basically this will be on experiments and puzzles. Like in the science section, in physics, chemistry and biology, you know, there are theories as well as the practicals also. So if you are doing practical along with the theory, then it will be very easy to grasp the concept, isn't it? How many of you believe that while doing practicals is more important than learning theory? Raise your hand. How many of you believe that practicals are more important, as well as learning also is important, but practicals are more important? Like in the 9th grade, you have studied the Newton's laws of motion, the first law, second law and third law. You know the theoretical meaning, what is the theoretical meaning. But if you perform those activities practically, then you can remember those things throughout your life. Like if I give you an example, suppose you watched a movie, like right now the movie is going on, Avenger Endgame, right? And if you watch that Endgame in the theater, then if I ask you after 1 year also that what was the story, what happened in the end, you will easily able to tell me, isn't it? How many of you can tell me the story of your favorite movie which you have watched, let's say 1 year ago? Raise your hand. How many of you might be having some favorite movies, right? If I ask you what happened at that point, what was the ending, how many, you all can tell me the story ending, right? How? But if I ask you, like in the 9th grade, in that exercise there was one question, what was the solution of that one? How many of you are able to tell me that solution? Raise your hand. Nobody can tell. Why? Because in that movie we were concentrating, our entire concentration was on the movie, but in the book, why we are studying? Just to pass in the exam. So we have to change this method. If you are learning the concepts, if you are learning things, why this thing is happening, why that thing is happening, instead of just cramming the question, then you can learn those concepts. You will you can say you will remember those concepts throughout your life, just as the movie also. So isn't it amazing that if I ask you if I taught you one concept today, and if I ask you the same concept after 1 year, and you will be able to tell me very clearly. Like if I ask you, like a basic example, let's say what is 2 plus 2? How many of you know? Raise your hand for 2 plus 2. All of you know. Why? You have not been taught in the 9th grade what is 2 plus 2. All of you have studied 2 plus 2 in your first grade or in kindergarten, right? But still you remember after so many years. Why? Because you have learned that one. Very good. So is it clear? So we have to learn those concepts, like you have learned 2 plus 2 in your first grade or in the kindergarten, and still you remember those concepts. That's great. I appreciate that. So in the 10th grade also, whatever concepts we will study, so, with the help of practicals and the theories also, so you have to learn those concepts like you have learned the 2 plus 2, so that you can remember all those concepts throughout your life. Is it clear? And you can see the next 20% also, the additional Olympiad concepts. Like apart from the NCERT, in the Olympiad, what we have done, like if you see the book of your NCERT, there are 15 chapters, and in the Olympiad also the chapters are same, but the subtopics may be different. Like in polynomial, there are 6 subsections. Let's say 6 subsections are there in your book, but there may be some more concept which will include in the Olympiad. So we will cover those concepts also. And the next 20% is the exam pattern and attempt strategy. The most important thing for any competitive exam, whether it is board or Olympiads, you should know exam pattern. Because if you don't know like what is the pattern of the exam, what types of questions are going to be asked in the exam, then it is very difficult to crack that exam. Let's say they are asking, if I ask you, they are asking questions from A, B, C, D, E, and you are wasting your time on learning E, F, G, H, then what is the use of that exam? It's of no use. So if you know that these are the questions which are going to be there in the exam, and if you focus only on those questions, then it's very easy to crack that exam, isn't it? How many of you believe that this thing, if you learn according to the exam pattern, then you can easily crack the exam? Raise your hand. How many of you believe this concept? That if you know the exam pattern already, and you have to, and if you are learning only those questions, then you can easily crack. Doesn't matter how hard is the exam. Second thing is the attempt strategy also. Many of you might be face this problem, like if you are attempting a question in, especially in mathematics, what happens is we start a question and we end up with some mistake in between, and we are not able to get the correct answer in the end, isn't it? So what happens is that, so we will not get the correct answer and we end up in wasting our time also. So we will learn these concepts also, like what are the exam patterns of different exams and how to attempt each and every exam, on which question we should invest more time and on which question we should invest less time. Like in the, especially in the competitive examination, some of the questions are like this. If you have seen some of the papers, there will be some questions like, there will be tricky questions also, which are especially designed to consume more time. But if you can recognize that this question is not for you, and instead of wasting on time on that one, you can do more questions from the other questions, right? Let's say if there is a question which is specially designed to waste the time of the student, and if you got stuck on that question, and let's say you have invested 5 minutes in that, and still you are not getting the answer, or maybe you get the answer in 5 minutes for only one question, and your competitor has done, in those 5 minutes he has done 10 questions, then weightage of all the questions is same, then you will end up losing the game. Right, so you have to recognize like what is the question, which question we have to attempt, which question we have to leave it, isn't it? So all these strategy we will learn in the entire sessions. Now talking about Avanti, Avanti Learning Center was founded in 2013, and from the past 6 years we have taught thousands of students in multiple states of India. Right, and this year itself we are also planning to teach thousands of students across India, and we have a very hard-working team also, and we focus on boards and competitive examinations also. Second thing is that how the Avanti classroom is different from the different one. Like right now we are studying in a online mode, but Avanti also provides the coaching in the offline mode also. And what you will get from the Avanti, like there will be so many different types of question, which you will, concept based question you can say, which will help you in building the concepts rather than cramming the things, right? And the things which you will get from Avanti, the enrichment program, is that you all will get a module. In those modules there will be some homework exercises and in-class exercises there, and the questions on that one are designed from lower level to higher level. So you can it will cover your board preparation also, and it will cover your competitive examination preparation also. Second thing is that, like this session which we are going through, this is a completely recorded session, so you will have an online account also. On that account you will get all the recorded videos of all the chapters we have covered. So let's say if you have missed one of the classes, then you can go through that app and you can watch all the videos, right? and after completion of every chapter you will get some assignments also and test also. And test we have divided in two categories. One is the subjective test and one is the objective test. So subjective test will be like this, like all the questions will be there from the board level, like what type of questions are there in the board, that will be in the subjective paper. And in the objective paper mostly questions will be there from the Olympiad level. So there will be two different things, subjective and objective test, subjective and objective assignments also. Second thing, you will have a detailed diagnostic report also. After completion of every chapter test, you will get a report also, like on which question you have consumed how much time. So if it is an online based paper, then you will get a diagnostic test like this, like on that question you have consumed 2 minutes, on that question you have answered in 5 minutes or 1 second, or let's say whatever is the time. And you will also get a detailed report like this, like how many students have attempted that question, how many students have attempted question number 5, or like that. So it will be and one more thing is there, one extra subject is there which is not being taught in the school also, that is called mental ability test. How many of you have heard about this mental ability test? Raise your hand. The mental ability test. Anyone has heard? Okay, only one. So can you give your views about that one? Like what types of questions are there in this one? If you have studied that subject, can you give me idea like what type of questions you have done in that one? Logical reasoning question, like in which there are no formulas, right? Am I right? In which there are no formulas, you have to use your brain on the spot and you have to figure out like what concept we can apply to get the answer. Like the direction sense test, blood relation test, in your family there are some members, how that person is related to you. So those types of questions, right? Am I right? Raise your hand if I'm right. So these types of questions are there? Okay. Yes, very good. I appreciate that. So this mental ability test, we will also cover this one, because in all the competitive examination, apart from mathematics, science, the mental ability plays an important role, and there is a lot of weightage of this chapter also, of this subject also. Now there will be some code of conduct of the classes also. Like code of conduct basically means the rules which we have to set in the entire class. Like I have some rules, like first I will cover the theory part, then I will cover the NCERT related questions, then I will go on to the higher level question. This is my rules according to me. And you are also welcome to give your suggestion, like how the class should go on, whether I should focus morely on the NCERT, or whether I should focus morely on the competitive examinations or on the objective set of questions. So that totally depends on you. So you can decide from among yourself and just give me a quick idea, like how I should start, like whether I should start from the very basics, theory, then NCERT, then I should go on the higher level, or I should start with the concepts and directly I switch to higher level. So it depends on you. So just take a discussion of 2-3 minutes and discuss with your friends and just give me a hint, like what should be your strategy, or how you want me to conduct the classes, like from the very basics, then NCERT, then higher level, or from the very basics and then directly we switch to Olympiad level. So just discuss it with your friends and let me know your views about regarding this one. Just discuss in 2-3 minutes, so that I can get an insight like how I should conduct the classes. So I hope you had a discussion. So Mr. Ashish, can you let me know the views of the students? Okay, 1 hour 30 minutes for boards and 30 minutes for higher order thinking skills. That's great. Okay, perfect. Now, the flow of class. The second thing is the flow of class will be like this. There will be a recall test, lecture concept videos, concept test, in-class exercise and homework. So these are the part of the classes. So recall test will be like this. Let's say we are doing chapter number 2 and let's say some of the concepts in chapter number 2 are from the chapter number 1 also. So what we will do, we will just have a recap like whatever we have studied in chapter number 1, that we will using those concepts how we can solve the questions in chapter number 2. So it's just a recall of the previous chapter. Second thing is that you can see lecture and concept videos. So lecture and concept videos will be like this. In your app you will have all the concept videos, and this concept videos are different and lecture videos are different. Concept videos will be like on one topic, let's say in quadratic equation. So how to solve a quadratic equation, there will be a concept, and based on that one there will be a video also. And lecture videos will be like whatever we are studying in this live class. This live class will be completely recorded and you can revisit the complete live class again. And concept test will be like based on each and every concept there will be objective type questions. And in-class and homework exercises are the part of your module. All of you got the module? Raise your hand. All of you got the module with you? All of you have the module, Avanti module with you or not? Okay, not yet. So you will get it. So in this in-class exercise and homework, so these are the part of the module. There will be a booklet. So as I have told you earlier also, there will be a booklet, and that will be the homework exercise will be there and in-class exercise will be there. And the class structure you might be already know that we have one class per week mathematics on Tuesday basically and on Saturday also, but Saturday will be a alternate one, but every Tuesday we will have the mathematics class. And there will be test discussion also after every test, and we will conduct the test after a completion of each chapter, right? And the test will be, as I have again earlier told you, that test will be of two types, objective test and subjective test. Subjective test will be basically focused on the boards and objective test will be focused on the Olympiads, right? And detailed analysis of the test you will get, these all the things you will get. So I wish you all the best for this entire session of your 10th boards. So let's start with the chapter. So any doubt you have regarding Avanti? Like if you want to ask anything from me, like how the things are going to happen, how we will cover the entire syllabus. So this was all the description about the Avanti, like how we are covered. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Or if you don't have any doubt, just raise your hand, then we'll start the class. Any doubt you are having regarding whatever we have discussed so far, regarding any doubt Avanti, like how the classes will get conducted, how the course will get conducted? Mr. Ashish, are they having any doubt? Okay, sure. So let's start with our class. So as I've earlier told you that today our class will be mainly focused on the calculation part, because as I have got the feedback from you that most of you have consumed time in the calculation. So from the next class we will start with the chapter itself. Today what we will do, we will learn the basic concepts of the mathematics like addition, multiplication, subtraction and division. Might be all of you know what is addition, subtraction, but we will learn some different approaches so that you can solve those calculations in less time or on your tips also. And we will recall some of the chapters from the 9th grade also. Then from the next class we will start the chapters of the 10th grade. Is it clear? So shall we start? Raise your hand, all of you. Okay, then that's great. And in between, if you have any doubt, you are always welcome to ask me any type of doubt. Okay. So first we will start with the squaring. The square of a number. Now all of you note down the heading, the square of a number. So all of you know that square of a number means by multiplying the number by itself, that is called the square of a number. Like if we have 8 and if we multiply 8 times 8, that is 64. So 64 is called the square of 8, or we can write it like this: 8 square, 8 raised to the power 2, that is equal to 64. That is the meaning of the square of a number. And now how many of you know the squares up to 20 on your tips? Raise your hand, those who know the squares of the numbers up to 20. Up to 10? Raise your hand if you know the squares of the number up to 10. I guess all of you know the squares up to 10. And 10 to 15? Squares of the numbers from 10 to 15? Okay, so what you have to do, okay, one of you know, that's great, perfect. So what you have to do, the homework for you today is that you have to learn the squares from 1 to 20. If you know the squares from 1 to 20, then on your tips, then using those squares you can easily find out the squares of 56, 76, 39, 106, like that. If so what you will get at the end of the class, by the end of the class you will be easily able to calculate the, if I ask you 56 square, this is my question, and if I ask you what is 109 square, so how much time, if you are going through by the normal multiplications, square of 109 will take around 30 seconds or let's say 45 seconds to calculate the square of 109. But the trick which we are going to learn today, by the with the help of this trick, you can calculate these squares within 5 seconds or less than 5 seconds depending on your practice also. So by the end of the class you will end up with solving these types of questions on your tips. So this is our motto of today's class. Okay. So let's start with the first concept. The first concept is square of a number ending in 5. The numbers whose unit digit is 5, which are ending in 5 means unit digit is 5. Let's say we have 15 square, 25 square, 35 square. All these are the numbers which are ending in 5. So how to quickly calculate these one? That is the main thing. Okay, so very basic trick is there. This is 15 square. So what we have to do, first of all, see, on the unit digit is 5. So all of you know what is 5 square, right? So what you can do, just take the square of this 5. 5 square is 25. So write this 25 in the end. Okay. Now what is the digit in the tens place? So you can see the digit in the tens place is 1. So what we have to do, what is the number after 1? The next number after 1, the consecutive number after 1 is 2. So we have to multiply this 1 with 2. So where we have to write? We have to write it over here. 1 multiplied by 2, we have to write over here. So all of you know 1 multiplied by 2 is 2. So this 2 as it is and this 25 as it is. So 225 is the square of 15. Let me tell you once again what I have done. First of all, you have figured out that this number is ending in 5. So 5 square, all of you know 5 square is 25. So we have written 25 in the last. Then the tens place was 1. So what we have to do, whatever is the number just after 1, the next consecutive number, after 1 we have 2. So we have to multiply 1 with 2 and we have to write in the starting, which is 2. So 225 is the square of the number. let's do one more. If it is 25 square, so again this 25 is ending in 5. So first step is that the square of 5. So when we do the square of 5, what we will do? 25, right? Now this 2 is in the starting. So what is the number after 2? We all of you know the number after 2 is 3. So we have to multiply this 2 with 3. So we will write it over here, 2 times 3. So 2 times 3, all of you know 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 as it is and 25 as it is. So 625 is the square of 25. All of you are getting this concept? Please raise your hand. If you got the concept, please raise your hand. Very good, that's great. So do these things, 35 square and 45 square. All of you have done it? Raise your hand if you have done it. That's great. So I am writing the answer. So 5 square will be 25, and after 3 we have 4. So 3 multiplied by 4, that will be 12. So 1225 is the square. Similarly for 45, 5 square is 25, and after 4 we have 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. So 2025. All of you got the same answer? Raise your hand. That's great. Perfect. So in the same way, so if the number is like, let's say if I do 95 square, then 95 square you can easily calculate. Do it fast. All of you got it? The answer should be 9025, right? Okay. Now, if it is a 3-digit number, let's say if we have 105 square, then how we have to proceed for 105 square? The same pattern is there. In the end, we have 5. So same concept, 5 square will be 25. Now we have to consider the starting digits as the single digit. So this is 10. So after 10, we all know the number after 10 is 11. So 10 multiplied by 11. So 10 multiplied by 11 is 110. So 11025, that is the square. All of you are getting the concept? So in 3-digit number, what we have to do? Similarly, so can you try this one? 115 square. So 115 square, 5 square will be 25, and 11. After 11 we have 12. 11 into 12 is 132. How many of you got this answer? Raise your hand. Oh, that's great. So all of you got the answer. So this concept is clear. When the number is ending in 5, how we can find the square of the number. Okay. Now the next method is, so write down the second point. Numbers from 30 to 70. The numbers which lie from 30 to 70, how we can find the square of those numbers? Quickly. So for this thing, what you have to do, you have to consider two things. One is called the base, which is of 50 we will take. This is the first point which you have to keep in mind. Second thing is the constant number, which is 25. You have to learn these two things. One is base is 50 and constant number is 25 to quickly calculate the squares from 30 to 70. Now how we will use this one? So let's start with the problem. Let's say the first question is, we have to calculate what is 54 square. Now in this 54 square, first thing you have to see that this number lies between 30 to 70, so we can apply this concept. Now the second point is that the base is 50, so you have to see whether this number is greater than 50 or less than 50. So as you can see, 54 is greater than 50, right? And by how much it is greater than 50? It is greater than 50 by 4. So the difference between 50 and 54 is 4. So what we have to do, just draw a line like this. Whatever is the difference, by how much it is greater than 50, we have to take the square of that difference over here. Since 54 is 4 greater than 50, so we will write 4 square on the right side of the line. And on the left side of the line, we have to add this difference to this constant number 25. So 25 plus 4 we have to do on the left hand side. Whatever is the difference between 54 and 50, 4 is the difference. So 4 on the right side, 4 square on the right side of the line, and on the left hand side we have to add the same difference to constant number 25. So now 4 square is, all of you know, which is 16, and 25 plus 4 is 29. So 2916 is the square of 54. And sometimes these questions are directly asked in the exams, just to check whether how fast are you in calculations. In competitive examinations, sometimes a combination of these types of questions will be there, just to check how fast you are in arithmetic problems like board mass rule. Let's take a second example. If we have 59 square, now in case of 59 square, what we have to do, we have to see that 59 is greater than 50 and it is greater than 50 by 9. So what we have to do, just draw a line like this. The difference between 59 and 50 is 9. So here we will do 9 square, and same concept, on the left hand side we will add this 9 to 25. So 9 square is 81 and 25 plus 9 is 34. So 3481 is the square of 59. All of you are getting the concept? Raise your hand if you got the concept. That's great, perfect. Now if we go on the higher side, let's say if I take 62 square, Now again the 62 is greater than 50, but it is 12 greater than 50. So what we will do on the right side, 12 square. On the left hand side, same thing, 25 plus 12. Now the main difference in the previous question and in this question comes here, and all of you know that 12 square is 144. That's why I told you to remember the squares up to 20, because we will use those directly over here. So 12 square is 144 and it is a 3-digit number, right? But what we are doing on the right side of this line, we have to write only 2 digits. So what we will do, instead of writing complete 144, we will write only the last 2 digits of 144, which are 44 over here, and we will transfer the extra ones over here. That will be transferred as a carry, so it will get added to this side. So over here 25 plus 12, that was 37, and when this 1 comes as a carry, so 37 plus 1, that will become 38 on the left hand side, and 44 over here. So 3844, that will be the square. Let me tell you once again what we have to do. Whenever the square of the difference is a 3-digit number, so we have to write only the last 2 digits over here, and remaining digits we have to transfer on the left hand side. That will get add over there, and the answer will be same. You got this concept? Raise your hand if you got this concept. Perfect. Now what I am giving you 3 questions. You have to solve those questions and then we will discuss them. So do these questions. 64 square, then you have to do 69 square, and sixth one 57 square. These 3 questions, do it. And those who have completed, raise your hand. Okay, that's great. Okay, very good. In the end, that's great, very good. Very good, that's great. Anybody facing problem in these one, or should I tell you the concept once again? Those who are facing problem like how to proceed, just raise your hand. Okay, I am telling you. See, this is 64, right? First we will talk about 64. So first what you have to do, you have to see that 64 is greater than 50, right? That is the first point. Second point is that 64 is how much greater than 50? It is 14 greater than 50. So on this right hand side, we will do 14 square, and on the left hand side, we will add 25 plus 14, right? Now you should know what is 14 square. So right now I am telling you, but by the next class you should learn the squares up to 20. So 14 square is 196. So as I have told you, since it is a 3-digit number, so we have to write only 96 in the last 2 digits, and we will transfer 1 as a carry over here. So this is 25 plus 14, which is 39, and 39 plus this carry of 1, which will be 40. So answer will be 4096. Is it clear? Those who are having doubt in that one, raise your hand if your doubt is cleared. Oh, that's great. Perfect. Now next one is, let's say, 69 square. So let me remove all this thing, or we can go on to. So next question was 69 square. Now in 69, this is greater than 50 by how much? 19. So we will write 19 square over here, and on the left we will add 25 plus 19. Now again 19 square. So 19 square is nothing but 361. So in 361, the last 2 digits are 61. So we will write 61 over here, and 3 as a carry, which we will transfer. So 25 plus 19, that will be 44, and 44 plus this 3, that will be 47. So 4761, that is the square of the 69. Is that clear to all of you? So shall we proceed further? Raise your hand. That's great. Perfect. Now these are the numbers which are greater than 50. But what about the numbers less than 50? Because in the starting I have told you that from the 30 to 70 we can find the numbers. So let's take a number which is less than 50. So let's say if I take the number as 44 square I have to calculate. Now you know that this number is less than 50. By how much it is less than 50? The difference between 50 and 44 is 6, right? So since it is less than 50, so only thing which we have to take care over here is that we have to write that difference as negative. Since it is less than 50, so we will write it as minus. So just create a line. Since it is less than 50 by 6, so we will write minus 6 square over here. And on the left hand side, we will add this minus 6 to 25, the same thing. 25 plus of minus 6. 25, when you add minus 6 to 25, basically it will get subtract. So 25 minus 6, that is 19, and minus 6 square, that will be 36. Minus 6 square is also positive, so 1936 is the square of 44. The only thing which you have to take care of is that if it is less than 50, we have to take that difference as negative, rest all the things are same. Let's do one more example. (49 square). Now you know that 49 is less than 50. By how much it is less than 50? It is less than 50 by 1. So on this line, right side of line, we will write minus 1 square, and on the left hand side we will add this minus 1 to 25. Now the main important thing which you have to take care over here is that in all the questions you have seen, on the right side of line we were writing only the 2 digits. If we are getting the answer as 3 digit, we are writing the last 2 digits and rest as the carry. But in case of minus 1 square is 1, which is a single digit number. So, but we have to express this as a 2 digit number. So what we have to do, this 1 can also be written as 0 1 in 2 digit number. So instead of writing 1 over here, we will write 0 1, since we have to represent this one in 2 digit. So we will write 0 1, and 25 minus 1 is 24. So 2401 is the square of the number. Are you getting this? Raise your hand if you got the concept. Any doubt in this concept? Should I explain it again? Or should I give you the questions to work on? Okay, so for 50 square is easy. 50 square is 2500 directly. 5 square will be 25, and 2 zeros will be there since we are doubling. Okay, the 69 square. See, the same thing is there for this 69. First of all, we have to see that it is greater than 50. That's the first point. By how much it is greater than 50? It is 19 greater than the 50. So we will write like this. 19 will be over here, since the difference between 50 and 69 is of 19. So 19 square will be over here, and same 19 we will add to 25. Right? Now you should know what is 19 square. 19 square is nothing but 361. So we will write, instead of writing complete 361, we will write only 61 over here, and 3 will transfer as a carry. The last 2 digit we will write on the right hand side of the line. So 25 plus 19, that is coming out to be 44, and 44 plus this 3, that is 47. So 4761, that is the square. The same approach we have to apply. So is this clear regarding the 69 square? Mr. Ashish, can you give me the feedback? Is that clear? That's great. Perfect. So now some sample problems for you. Do this question: 41 square, 48 square, 5 questions. Try this. And those who have completed, when you complete, just raise your hand so that I will know. That's great in the end. Perfect. That's perfect. And see, these are the small things which will really help you in doing your calculation really fast. Oh, that's great in the first. Perfect. That's great. Second last. Mr. Ashish, shall we proceed? So now I am discussing the solutions. Now cross check whether your answers are right or wrong. Okay. So the first one is 41. So 41 is less than 50. By how much? It is 9 less than 50. So we will write minus 9 square over here, and we will add minus 9 to 25. So 25 minus 9, that is 16, and 9 square is 81. So 1681 is the answer for first one. Second one, 48. 48 is less than 50 again. By how much? It is 2 less than 50. So we will write minus 2 square over here, and we will add minus 2 to 25. Now again the main thing, minus 2 square is 4, is a single digit number, but we have to represent this one as a 2 digit number. So we will write 0, 4 over here, and 25 minus 2, that is 23. Now 53 square. 53 is greater than 50 by how much? 3. So we will write 3 square over here, and 25 plus 3. Now again 3 square is a 9, which is a single digit number. So what we have to do, we have to represent this one as a 2 digit. So in case of 2 digit, we will write it as 0, 9, and 25 plus 3, that is 28. So 2809. 39 square. Now 39 is less than 50. By how much? It is 11 less than 50. So we will write minus 11 square over here, and 25 minus 11 over here. Now minus 11 square is nothing but 121. So we will write 21 over here, and 1 as a carry, which we will transfer. We will add that carry to over here. 25 minus 11 is 14, and when we get this 1 carry, 14 plus 1, that will become 15. So 1521 is the final answer. Now last 51 square. 51 is greater than 50 by 1. So we will write 1 square over here, and 25 plus 1. Now since 1 square is a single digit number, which is 1, but we have to represent that one as a 2 digit. So what we will do, 1 square will be 1, but we will write as 0, 1, 25 plus 1, which is 26, 2601. So these are the 5 answers for these 5 questions. Now let me know how many of you got all the 5 correct. Raise your hand. That's great. Anybody else? 4 correct? That's great. Perfect in the end, last 2. And 3 correct? That's great. So I hope that everybody got the concept, like how to solve these types of questions, the square of these numbers. Is there any doubt now? Now the rest of the things you have to do on the practice. So is there any doubt till now in the concept? Mr. Ashish, can you give the feedback? Is there any doubt in the concepts? 39 square. See, this is 39 square. So what we have to do, it is less than 50. It is less than 50 by 11, because difference between 50 and 39 is 11, but it is on the less than 50, so we will write it as minus 11. So it is minus 11 whole square over here, and we will add the same minus 11 to 25. Now the same thing, 11 square is 121, but we will write only the last 2 digits over here, and the 1 as a carry we will transfer. So 21 over here, and 1 as a carry, which we will transfer over here. So first 25 plus minus of 11. So basically it is 25 minus 11, and 25 minus 11 is 14, and then 14 plus this 1, which will be 15. So it will be 1, 5 and 2, 1 as it is. So 1, 5, 2, 1 is the square. Is it clear? Give me the response. Is it clear? The 39 square? Mr. Ashish, is it clear to all of you? All of them? That's great. Perfect. Now let's move on to the square of 3-digit number. So square of 3-digit number, so you can say squares of numbers from 80 to 120. Now you will imagine like why I have written from 80 to 120, why not 70 to 120? Because if you know the squares up to 20, then you can with the reference of base, like base was 50, so you can go 20 on the plus side of 50, 20 on the left side of 50. But if you know the squares up to 30, then you can proceed further also. Since this is the first class, we will do only from 80 to 120, then in the later classes I will tell you how to do the squares of the complex numbers also. So in this case, only one thing you have to remember, which is the base of 100 we will take. Only this thing, no constant number over here. Only base 100 you have to remember, keep in mind. Okay, so let's start with the question. So first question, let's say we will take 106 square, right? So now in this 106 square, we have to see that this 106 is greater than 100. By how much it is greater than 100? It is greater than 100 by 6. So again we will make a column. On the right hand side, we will write 6 square since it is greater than 100 by 6. But the difference is that on the left hand side, we have to add this 6 in the same number. The number is 106, so we have to add this difference to the number itself. In the earlier case, we were adding that difference to 25, but in this case, we have to add the number, the difference to the number itself. So 106 plus 6. So 106 plus 6 is 112, and 6 square is 36. So 11236 is the square of this number. It's very easy as compared to base 50 because there is no constant number involved over here. Let's do one more. Let's say 109 square. Now this 109 is greater than 100. By how much it is greater than 100? It is greater than 100 by 9. So on the right hand side, we will do 9 square. On the left hand side, we will add this 9 to the number itself. So 109 plus 9. So 109 plus 9 is 118, and 9 square is 81. So 11881 is the square of this number. All of you got the concept? Raise your hand if this concept is clear. That's perfect. And the same concept will be applied, like if on squaring the difference, if you are getting a 3 digit, then 1 digit has to be transferred as a carry. Like if we have 112 square. So this 112 is greater than 100 by 12. So 12 square over here. And adding this 12 to 112 itself. 112 plus 12. Right? So 12 square is 144. But we will write 44 over here, and 1 as a carry we will transfer over here. And 112 plus 12 is 124, and 124 plus this carry of 1, which is 125. So 125 double 4, that is the square of this number. The same concept is there. If on squaring the digit, if you are getting a 3 digit number, then last 2 digit keeping as it is and 1 as the carry we have to transfer. Is this clear? Raise your hand if this clear. Perfect. Now these are the numbers on the positive side of 100. If we take the numbers on the left side of 100, let's say less than 100, if we take one example, let's say 97, or let's say first of all do 96 square. If you have to do the square of 96, now you have to see that 96 is less than 100. The same logic, 96 is less than 100 by how much? It is 4 less than 100. So what we will do, on the right hand side we will write minus 4 minus, why? Because it is less than 100. And on the left hand side we will add this minus 4 to 96 itself. So minus 4 square is 16 and 96 minus 4, that is 92. So 9216 is the square of this number 96. Is it clear? Similarly, if we have the number, let's say 89 square. Now 89 is less than 100 again by how much? 11. So we will write it like this, minus 11 whole square on the right hand side, and this 11 will get subtracted from 89 itself, like this. This is the first step. Now minus 11 square is 121, so we will write 21 over here and 1 as the carry, which we will transfer. So first we will do this 89 minus 11, which is 78, and 78 plus this carry of 1, which is 79. So 7921 is the square of this number. All of you are getting the concept? Is this clear? For the numbers greater than 100, for the numbers less than 100. Raise your hand if all these examples are clear. That's perfect. Now I'm giving you 5 questions. You have to practice on your own, right? So my first question is 94 square try these 5 questions. And those who have completed, raise your hand. That's great in the end. Perfect. That's great. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's start with the solutions then. So 94 square. So 94 is less than 100 by how much? 6. So minus 6 square, and 94 we will add minus 6 to 94. That will be 94 minus 6 is 88, and 6 square is 36. 8836. 104 square. It is greater than 100 by 4. So 4 square over here, and 104 plus 4. So it will be 108, and 4 square is 16. That will be 10816. Third one, 91 square. 91 is less than 100 by 9. So 91 we will add minus 9 to 91. Again 9 square is 81, and 91 minus 9 is 82. 8281. Fourth one, 108 square. It is 8 greater than 100. So 108 plus 8 over here. So 108 plus 8 is 116, and 8 square is 81. Oh sorry, 8 square is 64. That will be 64. So 11664. And last one is 113 square. Now 113, it is 13 greater than 100. So what we will do, we will write 13 square over here, and 113 plus 13. Now 13 square is 169, but it is a 3-digit number. So we will write 69 on the last two, and 1 we will transfer as a carry, and 113 plus 13 is 126. When this carry will be added, it will become 12769. That is the final answer. So how many of you got all the 5 correct? Raise your hand. That's perfect. Very great. 4 correct. Is there anyone who doesn't get any of the question? Okay, that's great. So Mr. Ashish, shall we proceed further? I hope there is no doubt with anyone. One one three square again. So you have to focus on the numbers whose have a difference in a 2-digit. So 113 square, it is 13 greater than 100. So first we have written 13 square on the right hand side, and on the left hand side we have added 13 to the number itself. The same logic. Only difference comes after this step. 13 square, you should remember 13 square is 169. So what we will write? Only since it is a 3-digit number, so 69 we will write in the end, and 1 we will transfer as a carry, and 113 plus 13, that will be 126, and when this carry will be added, that will become 12769. So only in rest of these 4 questions the difference was a single digit, so we were getting the square as a 2-digit, no need of carry. But in the last one there was the requirement of the carry. So 12769 is the square. I hope it's clear now. Shall we proceed, Mr. Ashish? That's great. Now, there are some basic concepts in mathematics which will not be taught in the in the NCERT book, but you should know. There are two terms. One is called infinity, and second one is called not defined. How many of you heard these two terms before? Raise your hand. And how many of you know the exact difference between these two? What is the difference between infinity and not defined, or are these same? So in the last you are saying, are these same or different? If they are same, raise your hand. So you are saying they are different, right? How many of you know the difference between these two? Raise your hand. Only one person knows the difference. Okay, let me tell you, it is a very important concept, because in the 10th class there is a chapter called trigonometry. So in that trigonometry, these two words will play a very important role. So let us discuss what is the difference between these two. First of all, when we have a division like 15 divided by 3, all of you know that 15 divided by 3 is 5. But how this coming from? Division is nothing but repeated subtraction. So what we have to do, 15 divided by 3 means, it means how many times we will add 3 so that it is equal to 15. So as you all know that 3 has to be added 5 times. When we add 3 5 times, that is equal to 15. So it means, basically it means how many times we have to subtract, we have to add 3 so that it is equal to 15, which is 5 times we have to add. That's why the answer for this question is going to be 5. Similarly, if we have 20 divided by 4. So basically 20 divided by 4 means how many times we have to add this 4 so that it is equal to 20. So how many times we will add? 4 times, 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. So when we will add 20 times, 5 times, that will be equal to 20. So since 4 is added 5 times to be equal to 20, that's why the answer for 20 divided by 4 is 5. Right? In the same way, if I ask you 1 divided by 0.1, how many times we have to add 0.1 so that it is equal to 1? So you know 0.1 plus 0.1 plus 0.1, if we add this 0.1 10 times, that is going to be equal to 1. That's why the answer for 1 divided by 0.1 is 10, since we have to add this 0.1 10 times so that it is equal to 1. Are you getting the logic? Raise your hand if you are getting the logic behind this one, the division. So now if I give you, let's say, instead of 0.1, if we take 0.01, now you know how many times we have to add this 0.01 so that it is equal to 1. So 0.01 plus 0.01 plus 0.01, so we have to add this one 100 times so that it is equal to 1. That's why the answer for this one is 100. 1 divided by 0.01, that is going to be 100. Right? So going through the same logic, basically what is happening, if you are decreasing the denominator, like first we have added 0.1, we were getting answer as 10. When we have taken 0.01, we are getting answer as 100. If we will take 0.001, then you will get answer as 1000. 0.001 should be added 1000 times, so that is equal to 1. If we add 0.0001, then it will be 10,000. So basically what is happening over here, as the denominator is getting decreased, as the denominator is getting smaller and smaller, the answer we are getting larger and larger. So are you getting this relation? As the denominator, see, this value is less than this value, but the answer is going to be greater. So as the denominator is getting decreased and decreased, the answer is going to be larger and larger. So basically we will write like this, 1 upon this arrow. This arrow here means tending. Here the meaning of this arrow is tending to. So 1 upon tending, we will read this one as 1 upon tending to 0. 1 upon tending to 0 means it is very close to 0, but it is not equal to 0. So the answer is coming out to be infinity. When the denominator is very close to 0 but not exactly 0, the answer is going to be very large, and in that case we will say this is going to be infinity. So it is the meaning of infinity is clear to all of you? Raise your hand if you got the meaning of infinity. Very good. Now we will discuss what is mean by not defined then. Now if I ask you what is 1 upon 0, it means, according to the same logic, it means how many times we have to add this 0 so that it is equal to 1, according to the same logic. So 1 minus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. So is there any possibility that like we will add 0 10 times so that it is equal to 1? Is it possible to add 0 0 0 0 so that can it be equal to 1 in any case? If we add 0 1000 times, or let's say 1 lakh times or 1 crore times, so is it possible that summation of all zeros is equal to 1? Is it possible or not? Mr. Ashish, give me the feedback. It is not possible. That's why we term this one as, since summation of 0 can never be equal to 1, that's why we will say this term is not defined. So this is not defined in mathematics. So this is the difference between infinity and not defined. When the denominator is exactly 0, that is called not defined. When the denominator is tending to 0, that is called infinity. So these two things always keep in mind. 1 upon tending to 0, that is infinity. 1 upon exactly 0, that is not defined. In chapter number 8, we will use this concept. This is a very important concept. So all of you got the difference between infinity and not defined? Raise your hand if you got the concept now. Very great. Now the second most concept in the mathematics in which most of the student does mistake is that of the square root. So before starting the concept, I would like to ask the questions from you. I will give you two questions. You have to give me the answers for that one, right? Let's say how many you can solve. This is the question, under root of 81. Options are and question number 2 is so think carefully the difference between these two, and first think carefully and then tell me the answers. So I got the response as for question number 1 answer is A. How many of you agree with this one, that for question number 1 answer is A? Raise your hand. How many of you agree? And how many of you say option C is the correct answer for question number 1? Option C. Is there anybody who says that option C is the correct answer for question 1? So all of you are with option A, right? And for question 2, how many of you say C is the correct answer? Raise your hand. And rest of the people, you have doubt in question number 2? Okay, let's discuss these two, because these are very important things. First thing is that this is called, this root 81, it has no equal to sign. This is called an expression, and this is called an equation, because it has a equal to sign. And always remember that this under root is a positive quantity. So the output, whatever is placed inside the root, the output can never be negative. It will always going to be positive. So the root of 81 will always going to be plus 9, not negative 9. But in case of x square is equal to 81, since it is an equation, so we have to solve it like this. X will be equal to plus minus of root 81. This plus minus is because of this x. So root 81 will again give you the answer as 9, but this plus minus value we are getting just because of this x. If there is no equation, then only plus 9 will be the answer. If there is an equation, then plus minus both will be the answers, because in the second question you can cross check your answer by substituting it back in the question again. Like if you put plus 9 in x square, plus 9 square is also 81, and if you put minus 9 in the equation, minus 9 square is also going to be 81. But in this situation, in the question number 1, we don't have any variable to place the values. That's why in case of expression root 81, the answer is going to be only plus 9, and in case of equation, the answer is going to be plus minus 9. Always keep this thing in mind. Most of the tricky questions in the Olympiads are framed for this concept. Most of the student does it wrong. Is it clear? So raise your hand if the concept is clear between these two questions. That's great. Perfect. Next thing is, one more basic question is there. I just want to ask. (12 divided by 8 divided by 2). Tell me the answer for this one. Mr. Ashish, take the response from the students and let me know the answers. Do it carefully. I got response as 3. Is there any other answer except 3, or all of you agree with 3? All of you are getting 3, then raise your hand if all of you are getting 3. And what about the middle 2 persons? Are you getting 3 or something else? Mr. Ashish, may I know the response of those students? What they are getting? So you are getting answers in decimal also. See, this is a very, you can say a basic question. So these types of questions are there in the Olympiads. So let me clear one thing. This is 12 divided by 8 divided by 2. If there are no brackets, no parentheses are there, so what we have to, and 3 is also not the correct answer first of all. If there are no bracket or parentheses there, we have to start our calculations from left side to right hand side. We have to proceed in this order if the no parentheses are there. So first we will solve 12 divided by 8. So when you do 12 divided by 8, so 12 divided by 8, basically we can cancel out this by 4. So 4 3 times and 4 2 times. So 12 divided by 8, that will be 3 by 2, and then 3 by 2 is to be divided by 2 again. So whenever we have to do 3 by 2 divided by 2, all of you know that whenever this division converted into multiplication, this 2 get reciprocal, it will become 1 by 2. So final answer is going to be 3 by 4. So always you have to start our like when no parenthesis is there, we have to start our calculation from the left hand side. First 12 divided by 8, then whatever we are getting, that divided by 2. In the same way, if it is like 16 divided by 8 divided by 2. So first we will do 16 divided by 8, which is 2, then again 2 divided by 2, which is 1. Getting it? Is this clear? Raise your hand if this concept is clear. Perfect. So see, these are the small things which may create problems in future. So it is great that if you can clear those doubts over here. Now second thing, are these two questions same or different? Those who says these two questions are same, raise your hand. Okay, and those who say these questions are different, raise your hand. Those who say these questions are different, please raise your hand. Okay, if they are different, then tell me the answers. Mr. Ashish, can you give me the feedback of the answers for these two questions? 32 by 64 for the first question. And what about the second question? Okay. See, the basic law of exponent says whenever it is done a power m whole power n, whenever the parenthesis is there, like it is there in the first one, it means a raised to the power m into n. We have to multiply the exponents. So in this question, here the exponents are 3 and 2. This 3 and 2 will get multiplied. So it will be 3 into 2, which is 2 power 6, which is going to be 64. That is the correct answer, right? We have to multiply the exponent. But in the second case, when the exponents are not there, exponent are there, when the parenthesis is not there, it is 2 power 3 power 2. The parenthesis is not there. So what we have to do, we have to proceed from top to bottom in this case. Top to bottom means we have to solve exponents from top to bottom like this. So first we are going to solve this part, which is 3 power 2, and we know that 3 power 2, which is 3 square, which is 9, so it will become 2 power 9. Then we have to solve 2 power 9, which is equal to 512. Is that clear? Now the difference is clear between these two. Raise your hand if you got the difference. Very good. So this is a very important concept. When the parenthesis is not there, we have to solve from top to bottom. So in the same way, if I give you one tricky question, like so I am saying 2 power 3 power 2, so I am repeating it again, 2 power 3 power 2, whenever the parenthesis is not there, like bracket, parenthesis means bracket, the bracket is not there, we have to start from top to bottom. Like let's take one more example. If it is like 5 power 2 power 1, or instead of 5, let's take this one as 3 power 2 power 2. So what we have to do, since there is no bracket over here, so again we have to do the same thing. We have to proceed from top to bottom like this. So in the starting we have this 2 power 2. So first we will solve this 2 power 2, and 2 raised to the power 2 is nothing but 2 into 2, that will be 4. So this will be written as 3 power 4, and then 3 power 4 is nothing but 3 into 3 into 3 into 3, which is going to be 81. Right? Is it clear? Mr. Ashish, is this clear? If I give you one more, let's say 3 raised to the power 2 raised to the power 3, or let's make it simple. Solve this one. Give me the answer for this one. Very good, because 2 power 3, that will be 8, and 2 power 8, that will be 256. Now one tricky question for all of you. This is the question. It looks like very difficult one, but it's very easy one. If you observe the question carefully, it is very easy. It's looking like very complicated, but it is very easy. How many of you got the logic? Like what logic should be there? So in the first bench, can you tell me your answer? Mr. Ashish, can you give me a response? Very good. That's great. Perfect. The main logic over here is that you can see, you know that 1 raised to the power any number will always give you 1. 1 raised to the power 2, 1 raised to the power 3, 4, 5, 6, any number. 1 raised to the power any number will always give you 1. So if you see 4 power 5, that is a very large number. Then it is also 3 power that number with also a very large number. But if you see there is 1 in between. So this 1 raised to the power anything, this part, 1 raised to the power anything will give you 1 as the answer. So it will be converted as 2 power 3 power 1, because 1 power anything will be 1. Now we will solve this 3 power 1. 3 power 1 is 3, and then 2 power 3, which is 8. All of you got it? Got it? It was a tricky question based on the concept. How many of you got it? Raise your hand. Still having doubt? Let me clear it once again. There is 1 in between, as you can see, and 1 raised to the power any number will give you 1 as the correct answer. So here 1 raised to the power anything, 2, 3, 4, 5, be it anything. When you solve base is 1, so 1 raised to the power any number will give you 1 as the answer. So the answer for this part is 1. And then it is 3 power something, so it will become like this, 2 raised to the power 3, and for this complete thing it has converted into 1. Now we will solve for this 3 power 1, so 3 power 1 is nothing but 3, so it will be converted like this, and then 2 power 3, that will be converted as 8. So final answer is going to be 8. So I hope this is clear. Any doubt? Raise your hand if this concept is clear. That's great. Perfect. So that's all for today's class. So what we will do, we will start with the chapters in the next classes. Right? Thank you. Have a nice day.